Good morning. It's Zakiya Larry live in the building. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about today because today we are talking the reality of success. The reality of success. But here's what's so crazy. I have two reality show stars that have blazed their own trail, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But here's the point. Last show, it was after Easter, and we had some unfortunate, tragic breaking news, and we sent our love to Cleveland. But we also talked about renewal. We talked about renewing of the mind, and after Easter, a new season. And it's important to appreciate each new season. But listen, as we're walking into new seasons and new projects, and we're looking toward new goals, we start to think about success, obviously. And I want to talk today about the reality of success. Most specifically, how do we define success? And also, what do you do when your everyday looks different from your goals? And so right here at the top of the show, we're just going to get into it. I have an incredible friend of mine who is from Memphis, Tennessee, who was an Olympic hopeful, an incredible athlete who encountered some stuff and was able to shift in real time and still find success. You'll talk to him in just a moment. His name is Elliot Young. He'll be calling in just a few. And then, like I told you, I have some reality stars. This is so exciting, and you are going to love who these folks are. I'm about to drop the name, so make sure you are by your radio or by your computer. But really quickly, here's today's why. The why for today's show. You have to see yourself, and you have to see and understand that anything is possible, but not in that nebulous kind of rah way, but in a way that you get actual tools to help you on your path. And that's the entire point of this show, to help you to find your core and to help you to define your core and find the type of success that you're looking for, and knowing that then it's possible because you have a path. And of course, I told you about my resume and rap sheet. My resume is, hey, I'm a PR director. I've worked with folks from T.D. Jakes to Oprah, blockbuster hits, red carpets. And so I had to define what success means to me because I didn't start out in PR. I started out in journalism. And so it's important to define success. And here's the thing. When I say define success, it's about creating metrics. Metrics are important, be it in PR, be it in whatever you're looking to do. It's important to determine how you're going to measure what success is for you. And as a matter of fact, our guests today are going to help you to understand how to define success. And let me go ahead and drop those names. Has anybody ever heard of Ruben Studdard? I'm just going to throw that name out there. Ruben Studdard, winner of American Idol, an incredible voice, an even more incredible man that I am so honored to call a great friend of mine. We're going to be talking to him about the reality of success. We're going to talk a little bit about American Idol and then get into what he's had to do, what he's had to deal with and pivot in redefining success for himself. And then from there, we are talking to the Dr. Randal Pinkett, the first African-American winner of The Apprentice, who's also been in the forefront on some of the political conversations that we've been having. But we want to talk to him about his reality of success. What did the show do for him? But listen, deeper than that, what did his experience teach him that we can also learn and use in our own lives? So it's really important that you join this conversation. Make sure you go online, use hashtag ZLLive. Talk to me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm at Zakiya Larry because I want to hear how you define success. And I want to hear what questions you may have for our guests here. And then you can also give me a call. You can give Ruben a call. You can call while we're talking to our folks, Dr. Pinkett here, at 832-230-5592, 832-230-5592. Now, as promised, because I like to keep my word, we are going to talk to an Olympic level athlete who had to reconfigure some stuff in his own life. We have on the line my friend, the brilliant and talented Mr. Elliot Young. Hey there, Elliot.
Hey, how's it going, Zakiya?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's great now. Happy Monday.
Same to you.
Elliot, I was just telling my friends who are in the building here with Zakiya Larry Live a little bit about you. And let me just say this, Elliot. Today we're talking about the reality of success, not just the reality TV shows, but what success means and how to define it. And here's where you enter. So I'm going to jump into my first question for you, Elliot. You were an Olympic level athlete. You were training to be in the Olympics. Tell me a little bit about where you were training and why you set your sights on that goal.
Well, I was training in college primarily where I graduated from because, track is not a lot of money attached to the sport. So that's where I felt the most comfort. Also in Arizona and Minneapolis. So that's where I had a few of my training groups. But the fact that I was, at an early age, I knew I was able to do things physically from a physical standpoint that a lot of other kids in my age group weren't capable or able to do. Mm-hmm. And over time, you just, with the success of, winning medals and ribbons and things of that nature, it allowed me to really understand my athletic ability.
So you won medals, you won some things in the sports arena that help you to understand your sports ability, like you were saying. So let's fast forward a bit, because now it's in your mind that, hey, I can do this. And as a matter of fact, you were part of a team or a training group that really solidified in your mind that you were Olympic level, an Olympic level athlete. Can you tell us a bit about that group, the name, and what that experience was like?
Yeah, once I went to college initially for basketball. So after 2 years of college, I transferred to track. And from there, I really realized my athletic ability as far as potential to upside. And so a few things, occurred in college as far as injury setbacks. But once I graduated, I got a late invite to the United States Decathlon Team Foundation meet, in which I went there kind of as a no-name and made the team. So from that let me pause.
Let me stop real quick, because what I find with people of success, y'all are so chill with it. We are so chill with it. Like, oh, I made the United States. Repeat that for us, please, Mr. Elliot Young. What was this team that you made?
Well, it was the United States Decathlon Team Foundation.
Amazing. The United States Decathlon Team Foundation. That's when you said, I knew I was a great athlete, but I have the goods to compete at this international level, right?
Correct.
Okay, so, Elliot, you're ready. You're ready to go out for the Olympics. Folks are letting you know that, hey, you've got the goods. What happened then? I recall that your body quit on you.
Yeah, my body broke down on me. It's just part of athletics, but I had a rare condition, genetic condition that it showed up during the progression of my development, and it set me back tremendously from a physical standpoint. So 1 minute you're on the ready to pursue this goal, more so a dream, a destiny in your mind. And all of a sudden, you're stopped. You're stymied as far as your abilities. So that kind of.
Let's take it back to move it forward, because you just said something really powerful. You're ready to accomplish this dream, and then you're set back. Outside of your body quitting on you, and we're going to come back to that, but before your body even quit on you, you already had to overcome some challenges to even get to this elite level point. Now, and here's what I'm saying. Both of us are from Memphis, right?
Right.
Hey, fam. We're both from Memphis. But here's the thing. We all know Memphis is a huge basketball town, right? Kind of maybe a little bit football, because I'm in Texas now. Texas is football country. But Memphis was all about basketball, but yet you excelled in track. So is it safe to say that that skill set wasn't even nurtured? So even getting to this elite level was a long shot. Is that fair to say?
Right. I initially went to college for basketball. So growing up, I played basketball. That was, even in high school, you didn't really have, track was obsolete in Memphis. You didn't have a track to practice. So my practice was playing basketball. So everything was centered around basketball. So I initially went to college for basketball, and then I realized I wasn't going to grow anymore. And so at 19, I realized, hey, I'm stuck at 6'4". And so I kind of figured I needed to do something different because of my skill set. Wasn't going to take me as far as I wanted to in basketball. So that's when I switched to track and field. But coming out of Memphis, it's definitely obsolete. It's not a sport that really coaches even know how to coach. It's, because Memphis is not a hotbed for track and field.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing here and what I want to illustrate for our audience here is that there wasn't a straight line to this success that you were experiencing. You still had to fight your way to your goal. You had to create it. Oh, that's so good.
Right.
You had to create it. So you created it, and you make this United States team. You are on par. Your body quits on you with a rare genetic disease. Now you've been charting your course and being flexible this whole time. You finally get there, and there is no longer available. Elliot, what did that feel like?
It was hard. It was difficult, but what made it more difficult is the unknown, not knowing what's going on with yourself. So, for the first 8 years, I was misdiagnosed. I had misdiagnosis along the way. I had spent a ton of money, a ton of time trying to figure out what's going on with my body, going from specialist to specialist. Not until like 5 years ago did I really get the proper diagnosis.
Wow. So here's my question. And Elliot, I've talked to listeners about this a bit. I've had my own physical struggles not knowing. And that's an entirely separate mental drain, a fear. Absolutely. However, even then, your dream was almost snatched from you. How did you change gears? And then how did you redefine success?
Well, it was more of a goal, not a dream, because I was pursuing it.
Okay.
And so I just had to put things in perspective. It was kind of easy coming out of Memphis for me to rechannel my energy because, you wake up, I leave my mom's house, I could look down the street, and I look all around and see what I never wanted to become.
Wow.
So I knew I had to make a decision, on my way back. I can remember like yesterday flying from L.A. back to Minneapolis. That's where I was living at the time, and I had to make a decision right then and there if I'm going to allow this setback to influence my life for the negative or for the positive. So life is about choices. You have decisions, so it's just a matter of putting things in perspective and staying positive. And so that's what I had to do. And there was a lot of other things that influenced me going in the positive direction.
Gotcha. So, Elliot, you were able to shift your mindset. For you, it was athletics. For us listening, it could be in corporate America. What are you doing now, and do you still incorporate some of what you saw initially as success? Are you still working in the sports arena?
No, I left the sports arena. It was kind of by force in a sense because when that's all you know, that's the only thing I knew about myself. I kind of grew up in a glass bubble, I would assume, because my entire life I was around athletics, sports, athletics. The same year, my brother, he got drafted to the NBA, and, I went to the USA Decathlon Team Foundation. All my friends were athletes, so if you weren't an athlete, if you weren't in the realm of athletics, I really didn't deal with that. So I kind of grew up in a glass bubble in a sense. So I wanted to know something more about myself. I wanted to challenge myself to figure out who am I outside of sports, athletics.
Elliot,
that was the challenge.
That was the challenge. So, Elliot, you talked mindset, you talked change, you talked your body failing, but you just illustrated that it's about that mental acuity and stamina. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing your story, Elliot. We love you here at Zakiya Larry Live, and we appreciate you for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity, and much success to you, Zakiya.
Thank you so much. I will be talking to you soon. Guys, that was Elliot Young, Olympic-level athlete who's had to redefine success for himself. And you heard that he still has an incredible outlook and incredible disposition because he was able to define what that means. So listen, if you want to weigh in on what success is and what it means to you as we give you these tools, go to my Facebook page or Twitter at Zakiya Larry and use hashtag ZLLive and talk to me about it. Or you can call the station at 832-230-5592. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into the reality of success with Ruben Studdard. What? We'll be right back at Zakiya Larry Live.
Zakiya Larry live in the
building. 1520 KYND.
Welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy. No, not that crazy. KYND Radio is bringing you something that's so crazy, it's inspirational, it's educational, it's generational. No, not that kind of generation, our generation, your generation. KYND Radio is coming to YouTube. Now it's radio, it's TV, and it's your source of information. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Rushion McDonald, wow. That means something today, but when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, two brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be
on the air everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Zakiya Larry Live. Everybody has a past, so together we'll use all of it to unlock your purpose. It's about real life, real talk, real change. Welcome to Zakiya Larry Live.
Hey there, this morning we are talking about the reality of success. Now, people are obsessed with reality TV shows, but what we don't realize is there are real people behind these shows who have real dreams and who have real benchmarks for success. And so to that point, I have someone that I respect so very highly, who is so much more than a reality star, but that's where you know him from. We're going to talk to my great friend, Ruben Studdard, winner of American Idol, known as the Velvet Teddy Bear. I just know him as my friend who gives me a hard time and helps me get my life together. So we have on the line live in the building, Ruben Studdard. Hey, Ruben.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited we can't even keep it together.
We can't or you can't.
Me. You see what I'm saying? You see how he does me, y'all? Listen, Ruben, listen, I've known you for, maybe almost a decade, if not longer. And here's what I know about you. You are a really down-to-earth, really grounded, really centered, really good dude. But everybody else knows you from the reality show, and they know you because of the outward talent that you display. So talk to me about the reality of success. Does that get frustrating that people see you as that talent and maybe not necessarily a person behind the personality?
I definitely think that there are pros and cons to having been discovered on a reality show, but for the most part, my reality is that I prayed for that opportunity, and it wasn't up for me or to me to decide how it was going to
show up for me. You understand what I mean? And I, if it was up to me, somebody would have came to Alabama, discovered me singing in one of those clubs or a church that I was singing at, and I would have got a record deal. But that wasn't how the cards were dealt for me. The cards were dealt for me to do something that I never expected and to become a household name because of it. And so I am forever thankful for my experience. And, the older I get, the more I appreciate how much that my time on that show impacted people.
Ruben, you said something that gave me chills, that you prayed for this opportunity. Now let me clarify. You did not pray to be on a show. You didn't pray to be a reality star. You didn't even pray to win the show. You prayed for the vision. Is that a good summary?
Absolutely. I've been in several situations where you could really see the house from the view, but you can't really walk in the house, but you know that you're on your way to it. And we always got stopped at the gate, and for some reason, at American Idol, it opened the gate for me, and I didn't, and my only purpose, I swear to God, my only desire when I auditioned was for somebody to hear me sing. I didn't go in saying, you know what, I'm gonna win this show. That only became a reality for me when I made the top 5. I was like, you know what, I might have an opportunity to win. But before that, my only desire was to have, the people that I admired hear me sing. So maybe one of them would call me to be a background singer. Maybe one of them would call me and say, hey, let me get you signed to my label. You know what I mean? And once I made the top 5, it really looked like I could possibly win the show. So,
my gosh.
Yeah.
See, that's giving me chills because we live in a reality TV-based society where it seems like the goal is to be on the show itself. So what you're showing us is when we think about the reality of success, what we're doing is just a vehicle. It's about keeping your eye on your actual final goal, right?
And, we didn't, you have to, take into consideration that we didn't have the luxury of having seen people complete that task 10 times. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I was on the second season of the show, you know what I mean? And, American Idol viewership wasn't as huge the first season as it was, second, third, fourth, fifth season, you know what I mean? So a lot of us, were really walking into it not really knowing what to expect, and the kids that, were in the later seasons, they had seen so much of it that they knew exactly what to expect.
So, Ruben, let's push past the show because you are very cerebral. So let's go a level deeper here. What we have heard or seen about success is that when you reach it, and I'm using air quotation marks, whatever it is, you will have people in your circle who don't necessarily want you. They want access to your it. Is that something you experienced as well? And how did you deal with that?
Absolutely. I think people are attracted to the sun. Everybody has a time when it's shining on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, it feels better to be in the around the sun than in the cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's and I think it's almost immature not to think that that's going to happen for you when you're in the sun. You know what I mean? The hard thing to do is to recognize the people that are actually there for, to help you get to where you want to go without trying to, become something because of you. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely, I think, a great thing when friends can help one another, get to their dreams or their accomplishments. Like I want to see all of my friends, everybody surrounded by me, hit the goal that they set for themselves.
Right.
But, it doesn't have to be because of me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's because they, set a goal for themselves and made it happen because of themselves. And if I could do something to assist that, then that's great. But,
Right.
I definitely feel like it's hard, when you, especially when you're in the music industry or when you're in music and all of your friends are musicians.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everybody pretty much has the same dream. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, people, automatically expect you to be that vehicle that once you make it, you're that vehicle that gets them to where they want to be. You know what I mean?
Right. How do you balance that? Because we have people who are at their desk at work who are listening, and maybe people are saying, hey, you just got that good corner office. Let me get a cubicle. For you, hey, let me get on your record, fam. Right? So how do you manage that?
I think it doesn't, it really doesn't matter how you put somebody on when it's their time is their time. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I have friends of mine that, when I was early in my career that produced with me and wrote songs with me and did all that stuff. But when it really didn't pop for them until it was their time for it to pop. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Just because, because when you're in a town that is not entertainment or like really known for, breaking records, kids that grow up in Atlanta, they can, it's a lot of music executives there and people are just discovered there.
Right.
New York and LA, that kind of thing happens. But in Alabama, it just doesn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Texas, it doesn't happen that way. Or in Mississippi, it doesn't happen that way. You know what I mean? So when somebody from there makes it, everybody at that opportunity thinks that, hey, just because you're on, you could put them on. Well, even once you give them an opportunity to be on your thing, it doesn't automatically mean that they're going to blow up at that time. It only happens when it's supposed to.
Right, right. So you know what? It's only going to happen when it's supposed to. That is so powerful, Ruben. What you're also showing me is your mindset. And as a matter of fact, you had to get my mind together when I was facing something and I called you and I'm thinking, I can't believe this and I can't think about this. And you said something that literally changed my life. And I really want to share this really quickly before we go to break with our listeners here. I was saying that a lot of amazing things were happening in my life that I didn't even seek out necessarily, even though I had been doing work in that industry. And I couldn't even believe it was happening. And you stopped me right there. Talk to us a little bit about mindset and believing we can have what it is we've been working toward. You encompassed favor, you encompassed mindset. Can you talk to us a little bit about where I went wrong when I called saying, I can't believe this is happening. I don't know how to balance being grateful and expecting favor.
I think that once we understand how our words of faith over our lives actually do have power. Like when we're dreaming out loud as kids, saying that we want to do X, Y, and Z, or we want to have X, Y, and Z, and when those things actually start happening, we have to know that, when people tell you that God is everywhere, we have to believe that.
Wow.
Because it's actually the truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, when he actually starts giving you that substance of the thing that you hoped for, and actually starts giving you that evidence of the thing that you couldn't see, you have to, know that you deserve that, and what I mean, and people don't control favor.
Oh,
I'm so happy, that I learned that it's not some big executive that sits in his chair and decides whether or not you get blessed. God decides that. So no matter if you leave a job and some person seems to think that they're by them firing you, they've made it so you can't do what you want to do. You keep being faithful, you keep praying, and you watch God make it happen through somebody else. Because the world is large, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think a lot of times we get, consumed with the area or the geographical space that we're in, not realizing that, the world is, it's huge. Because you can't, be if somebody, if something happens where you can't be a teacher in Macon, Georgia, it doesn't mean that there won't be a teaching job opening up for you in Frankfurt, Germany, where you're making 2 times as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, I had to learn that as well. It's like, what people see as your demise can sometimes be like your biggest breakthroughs.
Lord have. Oh, we pause right there. One, because I need to take a lap and lay on the floor. What people see as your demise can be your biggest breakthrough. Ruben, let's pause right there because you promised to stay with us after the break for 2 more questions. We're going to expound upon that, and we're going to get to that question that everybody's always asking, and it's a crazy one, Ruben. We're going to get into what you're doing as well. So stick around, guys. Ruben Studdard will be back after this break with us to go a little bit deeper. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
Hey, go refresh your coffee or send that quick email and come right back. There's more coming up next on Zakiya Larry Live.
From the Woodlands to Warden, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Good morning, everyone. This is Laura Williams coming to you live from Volkswagen of the Woodlands, and we're located at 1
Ruben McDonald. Wow. That means something today, but when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, 2 brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be Rashawn. You can be Magic Johnson. You can be anybody you want to be mentally. I work with some of the best celebrities in this country. Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Monique, Tienta Tamara Mowry, Gabrielle Union. So I've surrounded myself with a degree of success that stuns most people. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied when I got 2 Emmys. So my future now is to be able to share what I know. You know, they said, make America greater. How about making you greater? Call me. Money Making Conversations. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. KYND 1520 a.m. I'll be live in studio. The kind of talk that inspires change.
Hey guys, welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy. No, not that crazy. KYND Radio is bringing you something that's so crazy, it's inspirational, it's educational, it's generational. No, not that kind of generation, our generation, your generation. KYND Radio is coming to YouTube. Now it's radio, it's TV, and it's your source of information. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Ruben McDonald. Wow. that means something today. But when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, two brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be Rashawn. You can be Magic Johnson. You can be anybody you want to be mentally. I work with some of the best celebrities in this country. Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Monique, Tienta Tamara Mowry, Gabrielle Union. So I've surrounded myself with a degree of success that stuns most people. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied when I got 2 Emmys. So my future now is to be able to share what I know. You know, they said, make America greater. How about making you greater? Call me. Money Making Conversations. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. KYND 1520 a.m.
IND.
Hey, it's your elevation strategist, Zakiya Larry, and you're listening to Zakiya Larry live on KYND 1520 a.m.
Zakiya Larry live in the building.
Hey, we are talking the reality of success, and we have the Ruben Studdard on the air with us. What he just said before we went to break, y'all, I had to take a nap. Like, I think I fell out real quick before I hopped back on. He said, not only is the world huge, but he said that often what people see as your demise, if you get fired or if a relationship ends, could be your biggest breakthrough. Oh my gosh, I had to just share that with y'all because that was crazy. So Ruben is hanging out with us here in the building. We're going to ask him a couple of more questions. I know a couple of folks have called in. But before we take some callers, Ruben, what's up? You having fun hanging out with us in the building?
Absolutely. This is great. I'm good to see you in your element, man. You've been interviewing me since I met you. So. I'm glad somebody gave you an opportunity to do this regularly.
But we gonna do that though. I mean, have I been interviewing you for 10 years? I feel like I just be talking.
Absolutely. But it's all good. It's all good.
I appreciate you, Fred, as you trying to clown me in front of my family, but that's all good. But listen, Ruben. So there's a question that you cannot stand. And since you clowning me about interviewing you, I'm just going to go on and ask it. Okay? Listen, people ask one of 2 things. Ruben, where you been? Or are you still singing?
Right.
Can you set the record straight? Because I know whenever I be trying to get in touch with Ruben Studdard, he be in China. Okay, so I'm unclear. So can you help us to understand the answers to that question? Where you been and are you still singing?
You know what? It doesn't frustrate me as much as it used to. Okay. I mean, I think that, you know, the older I get, the more I understand that people really live their lives inside of in a what's hot now box. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you know, and the vast majority of Americans, we pretty much glean our information from you know, pop culture or social media. You know what I mean? So I'm old school. You know what I mean? And that's just gonna be what that's gonna be. But you know, I definitely have been working more in the past 6 years than I probably did when I was on or right after I was fresh off of the show.
Oh, wow.
You know, and it's just because, you know, I've just been able to do so many things. This is why I talk to my kids about the power of education.
Right.
Because without having gone to college or having studied music as long as I did, I wouldn't be a proficient musician, and I wouldn't be able to do different types of shows that I do all year round. Like yesterday, a couple of days ago, I just did a big band show for Yamaha in Los Angeles. And, you know, I mean, all that, you know, just requires the ability to be flexible.
Yeah.
And, you know, God has just been really great to me, and he in that has shown me that it doesn't matter what people see; it's only it matters what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Wow. Pause, Ruben. It doesn't matter what people see; it matters what you're doing. You've been working more in the past 6 years than when you won Idol.
They're writing it down, church. It don't matter what people say.
Yes. You better bring that word, Ruben.
Come on, somebody.
Ruben, let's take a caller real quick before I have to take another nap because you're just laying us out.
And tell her, God, I want you to be doing something.
Yes.
I don't care what they see. I just want you to be doing something. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Y'all pass that plate real quick while I take this caller. So we have a caller on the line. Do you have a question for our friend Ruben Studdard?
I do.
What's your name? Where you're from?
My name is Sophia Parker. I am a publicist with Parker Relations, and I have a couple of questions, not just for myself.
Well, let's just do one real quick because we're about to go to a break. Thank you so much. What's your first question?
My question is, I have a songwriter, phenomenal songwriter, and I absolutely love what you said, is when someone's time is their time. And she has been writing since 14 years old, and now she's 28. And when I tell you now is her time, it is her time. What advice would you give her? Because she has been in the trenches a long time, and you can get weary on this road as a warrior. So what advice or encouragement would you give to her, Ruben? And are you looking for a songwriter?
I'm always looking for great songs, number one. Number two, people, you have to stay focused. I mean, you know, like Morgan Freeman didn't get his first big film until he was almost like 50, or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? And look at how we think about Morgan Freeman right now, you know. But I definitely tell songwriters and musicians to stay focused because people will always need a great song, and it doesn't take but one song to catapult you to where you need to be. So just, you know, stay focused.
Thank you.
Do not get weary in well-doing.
Wow, do not get weary in well-doing. And you know what? Why don't you go to my Facebook page, use hashtag ZLLive, and inbox me, leave your information, and we'll see if we can connect you. Ruben's always looking for good songs. So, Ruben, thank you for that advice. Really quickly before we wrap, here's my last little tidbit I want you to share with the audience. Because you talked about faith and mindset, and I done took 2 laps. We passed the plate. You are more than a singer. Clearly, you're a thinker and a scholar, but you had this real cool job, right, before we knew you as a singer, doing what you do in faith. What was that? Tell me about that, Pastor.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about when I was a minister of music? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, yeah, let them use you. Is that what you were doing before you became famous and such?
I mean, you know, I spent my time at the church house.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I definitely, you know, do believe that I would not be able to do what I do right now if it hadn't been for the things that I learned at Rising Star Missionary Baptist Church.
Awesome.
You know, and I think that people don't take that as serious as I think they should. But, you know, a lot of us that are like, you know, great at public speaking, where did you learn how to do most of your public speaking? Probably at an Easter program or
and
a Christmas
Youth Day. You're right.
Yeah, Youth Day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I learned at an early age how to move black people on a microphone.
Okay.
And if they wasn't saying nothing, you ain't doing nothing. So, you know, like even to this day, like if people ain't saying all right now or some in my concert, I know I ain't singing hard enough.
Okay.
So I got to go a little harder. You know, so I definitely appreciate, you know, my upbringing and, you know, my time working in that ministry, and I just, you know, appreciate everything that I got from my home church.
I love it. Ruben, thank you for joining us on Zakiya Larry Live, dropping wisdom, dropping nuggets, making me take a lap and pass the plate. We appreciate you so much for giving us a look into the reality behind success. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you for having me, Zakiya Larry.
The pleasure's all mine. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, it's your elevation strategist, Zakiya Larry, and you're listening to Zakiya Larry Live on KYND 1520 AM.
Liking the conversation? Tell a friend to tune in to KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
The Prairie View Nurses Alumni Chapter will celebrate its 34th annual Scholarship Luncheon, Saturday, April 29th at 11:30 a.m. at the Doubletree Hotel by the Houston Hobby Airport. For tickets and more information, email pvnurses@pvualumni.org. Save the date, Saturday, April 29th, and make plans to join the Prairie View Nurses Alumni Chapter for the 34th Annual Scholarship Luncheon. Call 832-491-2468.
If you're retiring, changing jobs, laid off, or your company recently merged, call Roderick Dow, PC, 713-862-4332. Roderick can assist you with your 401k, 403b, pension, profit sharing, ESOP, and other employer-sponsored retirement plans. Roderick will sit down with you in person for a free, no-obligation consultation. 713-862-4332. He will discuss the options for your retirement plan and inform you of the tax ramifications of each option. Roderick is a certified public accountant, CPA, and licensed financial advisor. Call Roderick Dow. He wants to help you pursue your retirement goals. 713-862-4332. 713-862-4332. Securities offered through Securities America Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Securities America Advisors Incorporated. Roderick Dow, PC, and Securities America are separate companies. CPA services offered through Roderick Dow, PC.
From spring to Sugarland, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Zakiya Larry live in the building.
Hey there. Today we are talking the reality of success. Ruben Studdard just took it there with his journey. And now I am so pleased to welcome to Zakiya Larry Live, Dr. Randal Pinkett. Really quickly, he's the first African-American to win The Apprentice. He was not fired, y'all. And it was season 4. But listen, he is the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of BCT Partners. But this man is a scholar, an entrepreneur, speaker, author, and community servant. Ooh, we love that part here. Good morning, Dr. Pinkett.
Hey, good morning, Zakiya Larry. Thank you for having me on the program. Real blessing and an honor to be in your program.
My goodness, the blessing and honor is all mine. And so, Dr. Randal, we're talking the reality of success. And I think right now, everyone's so focused on reality TV shows as the ultimate goal for either their career or their entertainment choice. Was your goal to be on The Apprentice, or was that just a vehicle for you?
Absolutely a vehicle. And it wasn't even my idea. It was my wife's idea. She was a big fan of the show.
Nice.
And she had this vision that I should not only apply, but that I could win. And lo and behold, not only was she right, but I can't tell her no to anything anymore.
Right. She has solidified her spot as the advice giver. I love it.
That's right. And, my advice is that reality TV is not an end. It is a means. It is absolutely a means. And most importantly, you have to decide what it is that you're trying to accomplish, if and how reality TV can advance that agenda, and what you want to get out of it. Because let's be clear, the producers know what they want from you. When we went into the orientation for the show after we got selected, they said, let's be clear, our job, this is the producers talking, is to get good ratings. They're like, your job is to try to win. And to get good ratings, that meant they had to edit us for entertainment value. They had to, kind of conjure up some controversy to make people want to watch. And so coming in with what I wanted to get out, which was I want this to be an opportunity to create a platform for me as a speaker, as an author, to shine a light on my business, that becomes my agenda. And so if they're going to get what they want, you must get what you want.
Wow. You understood that this was creating a platform for your other initiatives. I opened the show by saying you have to not just set a goal. That's very rah. Okay, we get that. But you also have to decide what success means to you as you use these avenues. So to that point, do you now feel successful, and do you think that The Apprentice was the appropriate vehicle for that success, if you do think you're successful at this point?
So I believe success is a journey, and it's one that I'll be on this journey for my entire life. That there is no final destination per se, because even for me as an entrepreneur, I know that whatever quote-unquote success I've achieved today could be gone tomorrow. And for me, I place far greater emphasis on what I call greatness, whereas success is what you do for yourself. Greatness is what you do for somebody else. And I can do a whole another conversation on that. But to answer your question, the show was absolutely a boost to my success. Reality TV is one of the rare opportunities for someone who's not of the entertainment industry to be in the entertainment industry. That if you're not an actor or a singer or an actress or et cetera, reality TV is kind of that rare window of opportunity to go from what I was essentially, an unknown, yet at the time successful entrepreneur to being seen by 14 million people across the country. And so it absolutely created the very platform. And, and you're in PR, as well as I do, that the value of having a platform only continues to go up.
Absolutely.
And that celebrity is now its own form of capital. And it's capital that you can earn and capital you can spend. And it gives you credibility, even sometimes when you don't deserve that credibility. And so it's been a blessing to me to having been on the show, and more importantly, to having won, because that gave me a branding as a winner in business that's catapulted me in business.
Randal, I love this. Let's pivot a bit, because we're talking the reality of success, so we see the benefit of the show. However, I have seen, not just with my clients by doing their PR, but also in my own life, that success comes with its own pitfalls. Ruben Studdard just shared that sometimes folks will come into your life just because of the trappings of success. But what I want to go deeper with you here is the idea of betrayal. Now, we saw on the show that one of your comrades betrayed you, but did you experience that when the cameras were off as well, knowing your end goal? Were there folks along the way that possibly betrayed you in other ways, or that you had to let go of to reach your ultimate version of success?
Yes, what I'll say is that when I go out and talk to young people, one of the things I say quite frequently is, you show me your friends and you show me your future. And that, I've come to realize, doesn't just apply to young folk. It applies to grown folk too.
Right.
I've been so blessed that, by and large, the people that God has placed in my life have been a tremendous blessing to me in my professional endeavors. I've had business partners that have come and gone, and we've had our differences in opinion, and we've come together or parted ways. But I haven't had significant experience with betrayal. What I have had is just disagreements or disappointments or relationships in business that have just not panned out in the ways that I had envisioned. But what I've tried to do, and I did this really well on the show, is I've tried to never burn bridges, to treat people the way that I want to be treated, to operate from a place of honesty and integrity. And I believe you get back what you put out. And so to round it out to your question, The Apprentice, like other shows, is almost predicated on the idea of backbiting and backstabbing and betrayal.
Sure.
And my philosophy coming into the show was, I'm going to do the complete opposite. I'm going to work hard for whoever's team I'm on. I'm going to treat people with respect and with dignity. And lo and behold, guess what happened? People worked hard for me because I worked hard for them. And I believe one of the reasons I won the show was because I built real relationships with real people in this surreal environment.
Wow. Last question to that point, real relationships, real people in a surreal environment. But we're talking about the reality of success. So my last question to you here is to expound upon what you just shared about some relationships that you had to end. Didn't burn the bridge, but you had to end that. That's a very real part of success. How do you recommend relationships that are no longer serving you or your goal be severed while you are on your way to success? Because this is real. This is a real part of it.
Absolutely. I find that one of the biggest obstacles to people exiting relationships is that they're worried about hurting people's feelings, or they're worried about how it may negatively reflect on them. And what I've learned, and I've been in business now for more than 20 years, is that being honest with yourself about what the relationships that are supportive, that are edifying, that are mutually beneficial, and those that are not, that having the courage, and it takes courage, and arguably it takes putting your needs above the needs of others, because the reason you don't want to hurt people is because you're putting their needs above yours. When you put your needs first and say, what do I need from me, it is liberating.
Wow.
And the way you do it is as grown folks should. You have a sit-down, face-to-face conversation and say, here are the reasons why this relationship is simply not working for me. I don't feel like we agree. I don't feel like there's respect. I don't think that you're holding up your end of the bargain. I've had business relationships where I'm like, we have a 50-50 split here, but I'm doing 75% of the work. And when you focus on those honest and objective assessments of why the relationship isn't working, it is liberating. And now, I just no comes out of my mouth real quick now.
I love that. Dr. Randal Pinkett, how can we get in touch with you, support your books, and anything else that you may have going on?
You can visit my website at randalpinkett.com, Randal with one L, Pinkett like Jada Pinkett. And you can catch me on all social media at Randal Pinkett, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And just want to say before we go, Zakiya Larry, we appreciate you, and just continue to be a voice for our community and for the issues that are at the top of everyone's mind. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you so much, and I will do that. Thank you so much. Randal Pinkett was Zakiya Larry live here in the building. Oh my gosh, what an amazing show. Here's the thing. We talked about the reality of success, the pitfalls, the glory, what comes with it. And Elliot Young talked to us about his Olympic journey, but his body failed on him. He had to reconfigure some stuff. He had to redefine success. Ruben Studdard talked to us about the mindset and the faith and how to get to where you're going using the reality TV as a vehicle. Dr. Randal Pinkett just dropped stepping all on my toes right now about having to walk away from certain relationships, but being honest and honoring yourself and your goal, and that's incredibly liberating. And so I hope that you got some great takeaways and we're taking notes here, because I'm going to give you this 1 minute elevate before we get out of here. So, amazing show. And here's a quote that I love. Albert Einstein said, "Try not to be a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value." And maybe that's the reality of success, that it's not what you gain or who sees you, but rather who is changed, helped, improved because they encountered you. And all of our guests illustrated that today. I believe that success is a moving target, and Randal Pinkett just supported that too. So get clear on your goal, even if you're not clear on how to reach it. And I share this with my media coaching clients all the time, that you got to measure what success means to you. Define it, dissect it, measure it, and go for it. Let's hang out again next week. It's Zakiya Larry live in the building.